Hi, I'm Maggie. This is Music Theory for Piano Technicians, Part 9, Interval Qualities, Perfect Intervals. Interval names have a number and a quality. We've already covered the numbers. The qualities piano technicians use most are perfect, major, and minor. This video will explain perfect. There is more than one way to teach and learn this, so I'll share other methods later as enhancement, but this is how I learned it, and it has served me well. I urge everyone to learn their major scales well, both on paper and on a piano. I have shared a PDF of major scales, and I will be sharing a video of how to play them. If you learn them, it will make your life much better later. If we start with a C major scale, if C is our root, C is going to be our root for this scale, and we go up to G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have already learned this is a fifth. It is called a perfect fifth. The word perfect goes back in history to the church, and I'm not going to give a history lesson on that right now, but just know fifths are perfect. So perfect are fourths. So C is our root. We go up to F. This is a P for perfect fourth. That's how you write that in shorthand. Perfect fourth. The other intervals that are perfect are the octave, and you would write that P for perfect, 8 for octave, and some people put a VE after it for octave. You can do that. It'll work either way. The last perfect interval within an octave is a perfect unison. We've learned that from C to C, from the root to itself, is a unison, and you can call that a P1, a perfect unison. Perfect unison. So our perfect intervals are unisons, octaves, fourths, and fifths. If I start with a G scale, G is now my root because that's the first note of the scale. What is a perfect fifth up from G? It's a D. How do I know these are perfect? They are perfect if they fall within the scale. If I had a D flat or a D sharp, it would no longer be perfect. So we don't need to worry about that. Every perfect interval that falls within the scale of the root is a perfect interval. And those are going to be fourths. G to C is a perfect fourth. Whoops. G to D is a perfect fifth. G to G is a perfect octave. And G back to itself is a perfect unison. If we have an F scale, F is our root. And if we start on F and move up, not up, but if we just move back to F, we have a perfect unison. You could say perfect one, it would work, but it would be more proper to say perfect unison. If we moved from F to C, we have a perfect fifth. If we move from the lower F to the upper F, we have a perfect octave. Now notice up here, our B flat is a black key, Our fourth scale degree is a black key. That's scale degree number 4. F to B flat is a perfect fourth. We can't use this white key for a perfect fourth. It is a fourth from F to B. F, G, A, B, that's 4. That is a fourth, but it is not a perfect fourth because it does not fall in the scale of F. So F to B flat is our perfect fourth. If we look at a D scale, D is our root. So moving from D to D itself is a perfect unison. Moving from D, E, F, G, a fourth, is a perfect fourth. Moving from D to A is a perfect fifth. And moving from D to the upper D is a perfect octave. In a B flat scale, B flat is now our root. If I want to go up a fourth, I'm going to go to E flat. And that, because it's in the scale of B flat, that is a perfect fourth. Scale degree number 5 is F. So B flat to F is a perfect fifth. And of course, we know that B flat to the upper B flat is a perfect octave. Let's practice this on a few more scales. If I am in an A major scale, A is my root, and so A back to itself is a unison. Now, up to this point, I've been saying a perfect unison. Most people, I hope you can see that, most people just call it a unison. We don't say perfect unison most of the time. If you were in a theory classroom, you might, but piano tuners tend not to say perfect unison. We just call it a unison. If I am moving from A to D, there is my perfect fourth. If I am moving from A to E, that's my perfect fifth. And of course, going all the way up from A to A is my perfect octave. And you can also just call that an octave. You don't have to say perfect. In fact, piano tuners themselves don't always say perfect fourth or perfect fifth. They'll just say fourth and fifth, and it will be implied that it is perfect. So with all that in mind, let's look at an E flat major scale. E flat is our root. So if I go from E flat and I just play another E flat, that is a unison. If I go to A flat, that's a fourth. You're still going to write P4 for perfect fourth, but if you're talking to piano tuners, you can just say fourth. If you move to a B flat, that is going to be a fifth. If you move to E flat, that's going to be an octave. Let me jump ahead to a scale with a lot of sharps in it. In fact, I think I'm going to do D flat. If D flat is my root, then of course we already know that if we play a D flat and another D flat, we have a unison. If we go to G flat, we have a fourth. If we go to A flat, we have a fifth. And if we go to the upper D flat, we have an octave, and I can write it like that if I want to. 8VE is sometimes substituted for the word octave. In a D flat scale, I would not use an A and call it a perfect fifth. It would not be a perfect fifth. It would be a fifth because D, E, F, G, A, those are 5 letters. So A would still be a fifth, but a perfect fifth has to fall within the scale. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below or send me an email.